We're going to talk about crankbait that don't catch fish no more. You ready to run and gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. The crankbait that don't catch fish anymore. You know what that is? The Whopper Stopper Hellbender. These things still catch fish. Randy Blaukett did a video on these about a year ago, and I like Randy, don't get me wrong, but I think he was wrong about this bait because he said these don't catch them like they used to anymore. Every bait's like that. Because when they were killing them on these things in the 70s, you had a lot more fish in the lake because everybody was keeping them. Well, now there's not as many as there used to be anymore. Fish are constantly getting pressured. You got sonars now, you got 3D graphics, you got all this stuff going on now, and bass are getting more spooky than they used to be. And to say a bait like this don't catch them anymore like they used to is a very unfair statement. I mean, you could say that about a man's jelly worm, or you could say that about a chrome blueback rattletrap. It's not a fair statement. These still catch fish. They come in 4 sizes. They come in the 800, 900, 1000, 1100. They actually go from biggest to smallest rather than smallest to biggest. I don't use the 800. And the 800 is the only one that's left. It's still in production by Pradco. I think it's called the Head and Hellbender now. But the old Whopper Stoppers, I like these in the 900 and down. So you got like the 5/8. This is the 4 1/4 inch. This is the 900 series that runs about 10-12 foot deep. You got the 1000 series, which is about 3 3/4, 3.5 inches long. And this sucker gets down about 6 to 8 feet. And then you got the small little 1/4 ounce model. And this is the 1100. It gets down about 4 or 5 feet deep, maybe 6, depending on your pound test you're working with, but mostly 4 or 5 feet deep. That's about the max you're gonna get this thing. This is, like I said, 1/4 ounce. This is a 3/8 to a little over 3/8, and this is almost right at 5/8 of an ounce. The kind of line you throw on these is like any other crankbait. There's nothing special to it. I use 12-pound fluorocarbon, but there's no set line for it. As far as technique, you don't burn these baits. They also don't pull very hard either. They're very easy baits to crank. They have a very tight wiggle. They don't pop up like, say, the old metal lip bombers. They don't pop up like that. They have a little bit slower rise to them. A trick that you can use with these things, when you go to pause them, if you keep a semi-tight line on them, they will actually do this going up. They'll still have some action to them. So keep that in mind when you throw these things. But you know, like a lot of the stuff I have, guys, it's discontinued. You can't get these anymore. But man, on eBay, there's tons of Hellbenders on eBay, so you can definitely still get them. Because, like, people don't throw them anymore. So why not start now? Bass ain't seen these things. As far as a weedless ability, they're pretty good. I mean, you can bring these things through brush piles. I wouldn't sit there and crank them and burn them through a brush pile. You wouldn't do that with a crankbait anyway. But as far as the weedless ability, these things are really good. I have yet to hang one in a brush pile, knock on wood. But I have got them stuck on the initial cast, getting hung on a limb or something like that, just under the surface of the water or something. You just take a rock tip and get it back out. But as far as cranking it in cover, rock or brush piles, I've never had an issue with them. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen one day, but this is a really good bait to use. Any kind of brush piles or heavy rock or something like that, I like a metal lip bait anyway, because it has a different deflection than a plastic bill. It definitely has a different floating angle. It definitely has a better flotation to it. But just the way it's designed, it's really hard to get them hung up. I mean, you have to actually try to do it. And they're not completely weedless. No crankbait's completely weedless, but they do a really good job with it. But that's the Hellbender. There's no real special technique to it. It's just a simple crankbait, but it's one that I think people need to start throwing again, because this does work. It does catch fish. And this little spinner on the back is not really a spinner per se, it's more of a flapper. But it gives you just a little bit of flash on the back of that bait, and that's all it's for. I really don't understand why they did it. You know, you don't have to have it back there, but I just keep them back there. That's just what they came with. So I leave them on there. I don't worry about taking them off. That don't bother me at all. But that's all I got for today, guys. It's the old Whopper Stopper Hellbender, a crankbait that no longer catches any fish. And I'll tell you what, I use these a lot. You know, these are a mainstay in my box. So that's all I have for today, guys. So until next time, may the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. And as always, fish on.